Namaskar, welcome to This Week with Padma Shri Dr. Sudhir Parikh and Dr. Welcome. Namaste.
Namaskar. Namaskar.
So, many exciting things are happening in the world, but we'll begin by looking at the current scenario of Russia, Ukraine, and what the rest of the world is doing. So, how do you feel in terms of the way things are proceeding? It looks like Ukraine is showing its strength by the support of European nations as well as America?
Well, I think again war is going on and it's kind of prolonging the war and lot of human casualties and a lot of damage to the country and structures, infrastructures and so forth. And this long-lasting or dragging out the war, it's not good because it causes more damages and more casualties, and but it sometimes it can be. Even today there was one article in Washington Post Washington Post saying that more this war drags out is better for Ukraine because then Ukraine will have enough Western equipments and fighter equipments, fighting equipments, so they can able to push Russian out.
So that is one side, and we also have reports. Putin is saying that he is more hopeful about talks with Ukraine for peace. How things play out. But I'll take you to India, Dr. Sam, and initiative of Prime Minister Narendra Modi in the form of a Resina dialogue, and 90 countries represented in India. It was addressed by the chief of European nations, and she also indirectly hinted about the way rest of the world is reacting to Russia-Ukraine situation, and that she says is going to define the future course of action in the world in terms of economy as well as peace. So while thanking her, foreign minister didn't touch this particular aspect. But overall, your impressions about the prestigious Resina dialogue happening in India?
Well, I think it's a great pride for India, and it's a great opportunity for India to communicate with the world leaders. And I think it's very important because this Ukraine war, if it goes on for a long time, then it will affect the whole economy of the whole world. I mean, not a single country will spare out of its effect, subsequent effect of the war. So I think that's why I think today the United Nations Chief General Secretary of United Nations is in Russia, Moscow, and he's trying to kind of mediate ceasefire earlier than later. Just to stop the war and stop the casualties and stop the killing of the innocent people.
Absolutely. And if I go back to the address by European Union's chief, the way she mentioned about Russia-Ukraine situation, then she also talked about increasing trade partnership with India. And so overall, India is the place which is center of attraction for the world in terms of economic growth. And how do you see current leadership taking advantage of it in the light of different disturbing news, as we hear some near Ram Navami? So there is a sense of law and order problem as far as impression reaching out to the foreign nations. Do you think it is going to affect India's economy?
No, I think the leadership of India in economic on the world stage is a whole different game. It's a different subject. I don't think it affects much, but we hope that what is happening in India right now on this Hindu-Muslim kind of conflict or protest each other and clash and all those things, that does not give us a good optic outside India, you know. So I think Indian law and order has to be much stricter, stronger, and make sure that this kind of unnecessary clash without any rhyme or reason should not happen, you know.
And now, as I speak to you, and the news flash related to COVID positive Vice President Kamala Harris, do you see this again coming back, COVID in America?
I don't think so, but COVID, any virus, particularly the pandemic virus, is going to keep mutating. So, in any given time, there will be a few isolated pockets of the positive infection. So, we don't have to worry about that. Just get the vaccination, get the booster dosage, whoever are eligible for booster dose above 50 years of age, and just live normal life and learn to live with the COVID just like with any other virus, like flu or any other virus. So I think as long as one follow this guideline, mask themselves in indoor setting, mask themselves in the public transportation, and try to avoid the public transportation if possible, then I think it should be a normal life.
So I'm just smiling. You say avoid public transportation; it's normal life, because many people use public transport for on daily basis. So if
avoid in a sense that if you don't need to go anywhere, don't use public transportation. If you have any other means of going, then do not use public transportation, because there are infections, and it can be problematic to any particular person. But as long as you are vaccinated, even though you get a COVID positivity, doesn't mean much, because you don't get a serious disease, and so you should be not worry about it.
Talking about worries, and many people worry what kind of tweet once they used to worry would be coming to them from President Trump, and then of course he was banned. And now, as we talked last time, things are moving in the direction that Elon Musk is probably going to take over Twitter, and the amount is huge. 44 billion plus, and once again he talked about his objective through tweet, where he is expressing his concern about some attack on freedom of expression of people. Do you take that seriously, or there must be something else in his mind?
Well, we don't know. We don't know what in his mind, or Elon Musk's mind. But I think what he's saying that he wants to make this Twitter platform more open platform. There will be more freedom. Of course, there is always going to be some kind of control or monitoring, so it should not go out of hand. And I think there's another. I'm sure he has some business angle to this, because once you own the whole this such a large platform where millions of people are coming every day, that can take you to lot of powerful position, and it becomes like a very powerful person. And I'm sure that he's going to take this Twitter from public company to the private company, and once he becomes private company, I'm sure he will be more responsible, more answerable to the community. But legally speaking, he can do whatever he wants to do, and I'm sure he will use the Twitter not only for a political purpose, or not for as a part of the free platform or freedom of the speech, but he may use some form in one of his businesses, and I'm sure he will make much more money than what he's spending now.
So, Dr. Sahab, looking at the world that we have started imbibing in, and these tech giants are affecting how politics functions, even in a country like America. So Facebook algorithm seems to have played its role in previous 2 elections, and Twitter also has its own strength. And
right.
The way India didn't respond positively to initiative of Elon Musk and didn't let them have a free hand in India to conduct business the way he wanted to. Do you see any potential area of conflicting space between Indian authorities and Elon Musk with
yes,
respect to
it will be, because once you make that platform kind of free platform, freedom platform, It means you let people express their views, whatever views they have, right, left, or middle, central. Then, of course, certain government may not like it, because Twitter has power to change people's opinion, just like WhatsApp has power to change people's opinion, right? So, if Twitter thinks that government of India's certain policy is not good for overall good of the people, then or freedom, then he may create the problem for government of India. Or if it is government of India's policy is good for people, then he can propagate and promote the government of India. So it goes both ways, and that's why I think government of India is not probably is little concerned that how it will go.
And now let's go to another theme which is catching attention, and we'll briefly delve with your help on the way Congress party in India, where we heard Prashant Kishore, who came to be known in the first election where Prime Minister Narendra Modi was elected, but later on he didn't sustain his alliance with BJP, and he has moved around in several parties. I think now he was with Mamata Banerjee, but there were many news items suggesting that he is going to join Congress formally. That has not happened. What is your take why it might have not happened, and the headline I'll share with you after that.
Well, I think my take is that probably any person in his wisdom will not join any party if he is a consultant to the different parties in different elections. Because once you join one party, then you lose all your consultancy business, kind of, to put it plainly. So I don't think he will do it, and what I understand that he rejected the invitation of the Congress to join as a Congress person in the Congress party, but he will probably do the consultancy to the Congress party during election. So that's what I understand, unless you have something different.
Yes, actually this is comparatively latest, so you might have not seen this news item, but what they are saying is Prashant Kishore suggested that Priyanka Gandhi be made the president of the party, and he wanted to have free hand in sort of guiding the election, etc., and that was not acceptable. But it's an interesting idea. So just hypothetically thinking, do you think making Priyanka Gandhi as president is going to do some change, positive change for Congress?
I'm not sure, but I think probably Priyanka has, it will be a different president. Whatever Rahul Gandhi is carrying, any baggages will not be there. Plus, Priyanka still has that mystique of look-alike Indira Gandhi, and so many villages and so many India's cities and small towns, still they are somehow have some mystic impression about Indira Gandhi. So that may get some benefit to the Priyanka Gandhi. And Priyanka Gandhi also is very outspoken, very probably very more mature than probably Rahul Gandhi. So I think his suggestion has some validity to it.
So I will hold my response to your mentioning Priyanka Gandhi as more mature than Rahul Gandhi, and I'm just reminded of some of the speeches of Priyanka Gandhi. But I'll read the tweet by Randeep Singh Surjewala following a presentation and discussion with Sri Prashant Kishore. Congress President has constituted Empowered Action Group 2024 and invited him to join the party as part of the group with defined responsibility. He declined, as you said, he declined.
Right.
But the reason given here is different. We appreciate his efforts and suggestion given to party. So primarily, but now let me draw your attention to the other side. Such an old party, the only party which used to be, if Prashant Kishore in terms of the Indian politics is not that big a guy in my mind, even though he has worked as strategist, but this doesn't speak good of Congress again.
Probably
it's kind
not.
of low.
Because I think that's why they tried to. Because he was there was some news item that he is willing to join the Congress party.
Yes.
And then he must have explored the possibility, and he probably wanted some more decisive role there, and probably Congress inner command or inner committee are not willing to give that, and that's why probably he didn't join. And I think being a consultant to a different parties in different election, I think it's not wise, in my opinion,
For Congress to take him.
to Congress to take him, or him to join any party.
Correct.
Because that way you become kind of one-sided. You don't want to be one-sided when you want to consult the different party, because he was consultant to Trinamool Congress, he was consultant to Jagan Reddy, he was consultant to KCR. So he's everywhere. So I think in his own interest, I think he should remain consultant and give consultancy. If a party accept it, or that's fine. If not, that's party's problem, not his problem.
Absolutely. And if I may just mention that this looks like a different sort of a career path which was unheard of, and where you see open money and what we say selfless service as politicians, they kind of merge, and it makes it appear little uneasy sort of alliance. But now, looking at the time, your parting words for our viewers from today's show.
Well, dear friends, now we are entering into the end of the spring and going into the summertime. So, and COVID pandemic is almost over. Most of the mandate is withdrawn by CDC and the government here in the USA. So everyone is enjoying it, everyone is traveling it, and even I witnessed last weekend when I was traveling that all the airports and airlines are full. People are, hardly 20% wearing masks, and so it creates sometimes uncomfortable feeling. But I think life goes on, and so please be careful. Wear mask when you are with the crowd indoor, and otherwise get the booster if you are qualified, and be careful and be safe. So thank you for joining us this week with us. God bless America, God bless India, God bless Indian American community, and we'll see you soon next week. Till then, goodbye.